Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Middle East analyst Sigurd Neubauer, who is in Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us here on Al Jazeera. As everything in Yemen seems to be about who's backing which side, can you enlighten us as to exactly what the UAE is doing by backing this secessionist group?
What we're seeing, or what we appear to be seeing, to state it correctly, is not only a fluid situation, but an orchestrated push to split Yemen in two. The latest developments today comes after U.S. media reported last week that the United Arab Emirates are in fact supporting lobbying group representing the Southern Transitional Council in Washington to push for a independent Southern Yemen. So with that in mind, the strategic changes that we're seeing today has also been solidified with the fact that we saw that the Saudi-led coalition ordered very quickly to push back and not fight these southern rebels. So this is a possible game changer in the conflict. Of course, it's a fluid situation, and we don't quite know what is happening as of yet.
So the Saudis are saying they're not pushing against the rebels as such. Does that mean that it's not a case of the UAE and the Saudis on separate sides now? And there almost feels like maybe there's some sort of tacit approval of what the UAE is doing.
I would say it's very much of a tacit approval. Bear in mind that the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia have been working in lockstep in Yemen since the Arab coalition was launched in March 2015, and they have grown ever closer since on other strategic regional issues. What we're also seeing here is that the conflict is moving elsewhere in Yemen, and it's moving into eastern Maghreb province, which is the province that borders Oman. We have seen recently Emirati push to solidify control in that province, which has traditionally been under the Omani sphere of influence. What we now have seen is that the new governor there is loyal to the Emiratis and to the Saudis, and we're also seeing a militarization of eastern Maghreb province, which potentially could mean that province would fall under a new southern Yemeni republic, if you will, as they're pushing for. This is, of course, another destabilizing move for the Gulf Cooperation Council, as it brings the conflict closer to Oman's border, with the potential of spillover should refugees from that region move towards Oman.
And indeed, this seems to be playing into the Houthis' hands if there is infighting going on amongst the other side, the challenging side. Does that mean in the end that we're looking at a real likelihood that there will be a split in Yemen? If the Houthis still are managing to hold much of the area of the north, that the UAE seem to be pushing for what it looks like is going to happen?
I think probably if these trends continue, what you will see is that you will see a southeastern Yemen under UAE control and support, and then the Saudis will fight the Houthis in the northwestern part of the country. And from that point of view, I think that you'll see a consolidation of resources by the Emiratis in the southeastern part of the country, and the Saudis and their partners in the northwestern part of the country where the Houthis are present. That's probably the strategic objective at this point, but it is important to emphasize that there are many unintended consequences, and we don't quite know how Iran will respond to this. We don't quite know how the international community will respond to this.
Many thanks. Very good to have your thoughts on this. Sigurd Neubauer, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.